After the completion of The Lost Worlds, Spielberg was looking to stretch his wings creatively, so he began working on the historical drama Amistad, based on a story of a group of Africans who were sold into slavery only to rebel and escape their captives. This case is a small but important footnote in what would ultimately conclude with the abolition of slavery. This was also an early and pretty great appearance of Matthew McConaughey and Jimon Honsu. Neither one give Academy Award winning performances here or anything, but I think most people have forgotten they were even in this movie, or that it exists, but they're pretty solid. The beginning of the movie is surprisingly violent. I thought we were going to get like this inspiring period drama, and it quickly devolves into that, but for a minute I thought we were going to get something way more dark and honest. But my big problem with Amistad is that it just kind of wants to dip its toes into being honest and brutal about the history of slavery, and doesn't really go all the way. There's way too many instances of white men coming in and saving the day. Morgan Freeman is here as a free African American helping to win the case, and he almost has nothing to do. There's so many avenues to explore with this character, and it's barely touched on. Amistad is mostly thought of as a forgettable Spielberg film. Not a bad one, but just kind of middle of the road. And yeah, that's basically where it falls. Spielberg would go on to push the boundaries of historical violence in Saving Private Ryan, and would do the historical speeches thing a lot better in Lincoln. There's just so many times I can hear Anthony Hopkins give speeches in this movie. It probably would have been better to see things more from the African's perspective, which is when the movie is at its most interesting. Not saying that Spielberg didn't have the chops to pull this off. He did it very well in Schindler's List, but he had a lot more time to explore it. And he didn't hold back on the brutality of the events. Here it's like he wants to have his violence and sentimentality, and the two don't really mesh well. Mostly it feels like a stepping stone for Saving Private Ryan, which it's hard to believe that this was made only a year before that. The movie should be this more personal and impactful story, but it just kind of feels like a footnote in history. And it's ultimately just a footnote in Spielberg's career.